Peace be upon you. Muhammad Laik Siddiqui, the father of Holophase. Part 46, Epilogue, the Holophase Civilization. We have reached the end of the path. We stand at the workshop door, looking back at the journey and forward into the open field of time. This is not a conclusion. A story that explains all of reality has no final page. This is a moment of synthesis, of seeing the whole tapestry from the first thread to the living, unfinished edge. This is the vision of what we have been building together. Not a destination, but a way of being in the universe. The Holophase Civilization. You are sitting on a hilltop at dawn. The air is cool and clear. Below you, a city hums, not with the roar of combustion engines, but with the subtle, resonant frequency of tuned fields, a gentle background harmony. You see the phi literacy groves where children gather, their testbed kits glittering in the morning light. You see the Steward Guild halls, low and solid, where artisans debate the elegant repair of a local water cycle. You see public coherence gardens, where people walk to calm their minds amid sculpted interference patterns. In the distance, the boundary foundry is a silent dome, a place of profound, careful questions. And somewhere, deep in stable rock and sailing toward the stars, are the archives, sleeping seeds. You feel it all not as separate things, but as a single, coherent pattern, a civilization that has learned to listen to the fundamental field and is now learning to sing back in harmony. You are no longer a student on a guided walk. You are a citizen of this possibility. This epilogue is your orientation. It is the story of what we have built and the charge for what comes next. We have completed episode 10. This part is the capstone, the vision statement, the passing of the torch directly into your hands. Scene, the symphony of the city. Close your eyes. Listen. Not with your ears, but with the phi literacy you've cultivated. The city's noise resolves into layers. The deepest layer is the planetary rhythm, the slow, massive pulse of tectonic stress, the tidal pool, a steady, low omega. Upon that, the biospheric melody, the diurnal cycle of photosynthesis, the migratory pulses of animals, the intricate, chaotic harmonic pattern of weather, a complex, vital music. And then the human layer. But it's not a chaotic shout. It is structured. You sense the energy grid as a stable, humming carrier wave, modulated with the shifting needs of neighborhoods. You feel the transport flows as smoothly shifting phase gradients, minimizing destructive interference, traffic jams. You detect the communication bands as tightly woven, coherent information threads. And beneath it all, you sense the emotional field of the population. Not a blur, but a textured landscape with areas of focused calm, libraries, gardens, pockets of excited creativity, studios, labs, and the gentle, loving coherence of homes. This is not a utopian silence. There is dissonance. A pipe has burst somewhere, creating a localized scrambling pressure wave. A team of stewards is already moving, their sensors pinpointing the topological defect. A community debate about a new building project creates a complex interference pattern in the social field, a tension between preservation and growth. But the dissonance is localized, diagnosed, and addressed with the tools of the language. It is part of the music, not its destruction. The civilization is not in perfect, static harmony. It is a living, adaptive, jazz-like improvisation on the theme of coherence. It has the tools to hear its own discords and the skill to retune. Our work here is one of vision holding, to synthesize the entire journey, from a single field phi to this living, breathing civilization, into a coherent picture of what it means to be a fluent participant in reality, and to issue the call to begin building it, right where you are. The language role, the visioneering skill. This epilogue teaches a synthetic envisioning skill. It is the skill of holding the complete holophase framework, its physics, its engineering, its ethics, its aesthetics, its legacy, as a single operational vision for a civilization, and using that vision to orient action, make decisions, and inspire others in the present imperfect world. Our core question about phi is, having mapped the path from fundamental field to flourishing civilization, what is the essential character of a society that lives in conscious, responsible resonance with the holophase? And how does that character manifest in everyday life, from economics to art to conflict resolution? We are moving from learning the craft to defining the civilization that the craft enables. The anchor image, the well-tuned instrument and the improvising band. We return to the instrument, but now we see the whole orchestra. The Holophase civilization is not one perfect, rigidly scored symphony. It is a vast, improvisational jazz band. Every individual, every community, every institution is an instrument. A violin, a saxophone, a drum kit, a foundry, a garden. Each has been meticulously tuned, educated, equipped with Phi literacy. They all share the same sheet music, the fundamental grammar of Phi, the ethical constraints, the safety protocols. This is the canon. But the music they make is not predetermined. They listen to each other. The ecologist, a bassoon, plays a slow, warning theme about a stressed ecosystem. The city planner, a piano, responds with a chord progression that offers a solution. The artist, a flute, weaves a descant of beauty over the technical discussion. The ethicist, the conductor, not controlling but cueing, ensures no instrument drowns out another. Sometimes they play in stunning unison, a collective project. Sometimes they break into vibrant individual solos, personal creativity, always mindful of the underlying rhythm and key. Dissonance happens. A trumpet, an ambitious developer, plays too loud, too sharp. The band doesn't stop. They listen, adjust, and reincorporate. The other instruments gently pull the trumpet back into tune, or the trumpet player, hearing the clash, corrects themselves. The music is alive, responsive, coherent, but never static. The goal is not a final perfect chord. The goal is the quality of the ongoing conversation. This is the Holophase civilization, a planet-sized, conscious, improvisational ensemble, playing the universe's own song back to it with increasing skill, responsibility, and beauty. The Coherence Selection Principle as civilizational law. At the scale of a civilization, coherence is the master principle of survival and flourishing. Constructive resonance, alignment, means the society's structures, its economy, its governance, its technology, its culture, reinforce stable, complex, beautiful patterns. Resources flow to where they increase coherence. Conflicts are resolved by seeking higher-order harmony, not zero-sum victory. Growth is measured in well-being, resilience, and aesthetic depth, not mere material accumulation. The civilization becomes a stable, attractive vortex in the field of history. Destructive resonance, dissonance, means the society's structures create or tolerate incoherence. Its economy incentivizes exploitation, pattern disruption. Its politics thrives on division, social decoherence. Its technology is used for control or trivial spectacle. It is plagued by internal contradictions that lead to crisis, collapse, or stagnation. It is a noisy, chaotic pattern destined to be smoothed away by time. The visioneer's mantra is the civilization's deepest law. What promotes coherence persists. What creates incoherence decays. Choose coherence. Core manifestations, the civilization in practice. What does this look like in the streets, in the laws, in the heart? 1. The Phi-literate economy, from extraction to resonance. Currency. The primary measure is not money, but verifiable coherence credits, a measure of how much a project or action adds to the stability, beauty, and ethical integrity of the whole system. Did you heal a watershed? Coherence. Did you create a beautiful public space? Coherence. Did you teach a child to read Phi? Coherence. Work. Most jobs are forms of stewardship or artistry. Maintainers, healers, teachers, gardeners, composers, elegance optimizers. The tedious, repetitive tasks are done by automated systems designed with Phi efficiency. Ownership. The concept of owning fundamental patterns, land, water, genes, is replaced by stewardship leases. You have the right and responsibility to care for a pattern, to improve its coherence, and to pass it on in better condition. Hoarding that degrades the pattern incurs a coherence debt. 2. Governance as resonance facilitation. The Reality Integrity Council and Steward Guilds form a core part of governance, but they don't rule. They audit and advise. Their power is the power of measurement and moral authority. Most collective decisions are made through consensus-seeking processes modeled on coherence optimization. Instead of winner-take-all voting, communities use tools to map the phase space of a decision. What option creates the most constructive resonance? Which minimizes destructive interference? The goal is not for my side to win, but for the best pattern to emerge. Laws are fewer but clearer. They are essentially codifications of the safety rails. Laws against inducing gratuitous incoherence, harm. Laws requiring consent for major field edits. Laws protecting the integrity of complex patterns, ecosystems, conscious beings. 3. Daily life. The aesthetics of coherence. Architecture and design. Buildings are not isolated boxes. They are tuned to their environment. They manage energy flows passively, shape soundscapes pleasantly, and create light patterns that support circadian rhythms. Beauty is functional and ubiquitous. Conflict. Personal and social conflicts are approached as debugging sessions. What is the source of the dissonance? Is it a misunderstanding? A mismeasurement? A clash of values? Different attractor states? The tools of phi communication are used to clarify, to map each other's positions in phase space, and to seek a resolution that preserves the integrity of all parties. Leisure and art. Play is often play, experimenting with testbeds, composing field music, building coherence gardens. Art is the leading edge of exploration, creating new experiential patterns that challenge and expand the civilization's sense of the possible and the beautiful. The coherence criterion, the civilization as a living system. Our coherence criterion for the Holophase civilization is observable in its dynamics. The civilization demonstrates a long-term trend of increasing overall resilience, biodiversity, cultural richness, and average well-being, while simultaneously decreasing metrics of violence, extinction, pollution, and existential risk. It is a system that learns from errors, distributes resources to heal fractures, and consistently chooses the path that increases the total, integrated coherence of its biosphere and its society. It is not a perfect state. It is a direction of travel, verifiable by data. The dissonance indicator, the cathedral or the carnival. The primary dissonance indicators are two seductive failures. 1. The cathedral, rigid orthodoxy. The civilization freezes. The canon becomes dogma. The guilds become a priesthood. Innovation stops. The music becomes a single, repetitive hymn. Safety becomes stagnation. The civilization is coherent but brittle, unable to adapt to change, destined to shatter. 2. The carnival, chaotic permissiveness. The opposite. Anything goes, no constraints. Self-expression trumps all ethics. The tools are used for private spectacle, manipulation, and triviality. The music is a cacophony of selfish solos. It is exciting, perhaps, but fundamentally unstable and dangerous, a pattern of noise that will dissolve. The healthy civilization is the disciplined improvisation, freedom within constraints, creativity grounded in responsibility, a constant, dynamic balance. The safety rail, eternal vigilance against hubris. The safety rail for the entire civilization is cultural memory and self-critique. 1. The mandatory study of failure. The history of pre-Phi civilizations and of every Phi-related accident is a core part of education. Not to condemn, but to understand the pathologies of power, hubris, short-term thinking, us versus them fragmentation. The civilization's immune system is its memory of past diseases. 2. The celebration of limits. Finding an unwritable sentence is a holiday. It is a reminder that we are not gods. The civilization takes pride in knowing its boundaries, in being a faithful participant within a larger, mysterious whole. 3. The open canon guarantee. The mechanisms that keep the canon open and updatable are sacrosanct. Any attempt to close it, to hide knowledge, to create a secret priesthood, is treated as the highest treason, an attack on the civilization's very soul. The ultimate safety rail is humility before the field. We are its scribes, not its authors. A measurement scene, the century audit. Imagine a scene 100 years from the establishment of the first global Phi institutions. Goal: assess if the civilization is moving in the coherent direction. The protocol. 1. Biospheric Coherence Index. Measure the stability and complexity of major ecosystems. Are they more resilient? Is biodiversity increasing? 2. Social coherence metrics. Measure rates of violent conflict, economic inequality, mental well-being, participation in stewardship. Are conflicts resolving more constructively? Is well-being rising? 3. Existential risk dashboard. Monitor the key risk indicators from the boundary foundry and audit ledgers. Are near misses decreasing? Are safety protocols being followed? 4. Cultural Vitality Index. Assess the rate of creation of new, significant fiat, new elegant solutions to old problems, new philosophical insights. The path. The direction is true. All indices show positive trends. The biosphere is recovering. Social metrics show less suffering and more collaboration. Risk is down. Culture is vibrant. The civilization is clearly on the path of constructive resonance. The fail. A wrong turn. One or more indices are negative or stagnant. Perhaps economic coherence credits have been gamed, creating a new elite. Perhaps a charismatic sorcerer has gained influence, pushing risky projects. The audit sounds the alarm, triggering a cultural and institutional self-correction. This is not a one-time test. It is the ongoing pulse of the civilization. The prediction spine, the long now of Holophase. If this vision takes root, we can predict 1. Civilizational longevity. A Phi civilization, by internalizing the principles of coherence and stewardship, will have the tools to navigate crises, climate, asteroid impacts, internal strife, that destroyed previous civilizations. Its expected lifespan moves from millennia to tens or hundreds of millennia. 2. The evolving human. Over centuries, the complete human model may lead to both cultural and, if chosen cautiously, biological self-design toward greater integration, enhanced capacity for empathy, ethical pillar, for pattern perception, aesthetic pillar, for learning, technical pillar, and for emotional regulation, sanity pillar. We would become better instruments. 3. The cosmic conversation. A stable, long-lived, Phi-literate civilization becomes a permanent feature of the cosmos. It begins to listen not just to Earth, but to the Phi patterns of stars, galaxies, and the cosmic background. It may eventually detect, or become, a participant in a galaxy-wide conversation of coherent intelligence. The Holophase framework provides the shared language. Falsifiability. The vision itself can be wrong. Our vision is not dogma. It is a testable hypothesis. Falsifier 1, the coherent tyranny. If a society that implements all the technical and ethical frameworks of Holophase becomes a stifling, joyless, oppressive system where individuality is crushed in the name of coherence, then the vision is flawed. It has optimized for a local, rigid coherence at the expense of freedom and creativity, which are also sources of cosmic richness. The model must be rebalanced. If, despite our best efforts, human psychology or social dynamics inevitably lead to the corruption of the institutions, the hoarding of knowledge, and the weaponization of Phi tools within a few generations, if we are simply incapable of wielding such power responsibly as a species, then the vision is biologically or psychologically impossible. The safe path would be to not develop the technology or to limit it to sealed, non-human AI stewards. This would be a tragic but profound discovery about our limits. Tri-unity of the civilization. The Holophase civilization is a tri-unity at the grandest scale. Time echo, the long now and the historical thread. The deep temporal perspective that guides decisions. The unbroken thread of knowledge passed from generation to generation, from archive to recovery. This is the civilization's memory and patience. Space echo, the planetary tuning and the distributed network. The global integration of human systems with the biosphere into a single resonant pattern. The decentralized, redundant structure of its institutions, making it robust. This is the civilization's form and interconnection. Motion echo, the adaptive improvisation and the evolutionary path. The dynamic day-to-day process of solving problems, creating art, managing conflicts. The long-term trajectory of learning, self-correction, and potential transcendence. This is the civilization's life and growth. Lanterns across scales, the coherent pattern. The aspiration to live in coherent resonance is ancient. Near scale, a healthy family or team. A functional family operates on constructive resonance. Communication is clear, coherent. Conflicts are resolved with care, minimizing dissonance. Resources are shared fairly, and the well being of each member supports the whole. It is a microcosm of the civilization. Middle scale, a thriving ecosystem. A mature forest is a masterpiece of coherence. Thousands of species exist in complex, stable interdependence. Energy and nutrients cycle efficiently. It is resilient to disturbance. It is beautiful. It is the biosphere's own fee civilization, operating without consciousness but with stunning elegance. Far scale, a stable galactic culture, science fiction. Imagine a civilization that has lasted 1,000,000 years. It would almost certainly have internalized principles akin to Holophase, managing energy and matter with extreme efficiency, coherence budgets, respecting the integrity of conscious life, phi ethics, valuing aesthetic and scientific discovery, and having profound humility about the unknown. Our vision is a step toward that science fiction becoming a possible future history. The ethics of the vision, the universe's own imperative. The ethics of the Holophase civilization is the universe's ethics, made conscious. 1. The universe wants coherence. The Coherence Selection Principle is not a moral statement, it's a physical observation. Stable, complex, resonant patterns persist. Incoherent ones don't. Therefore, to act ethically is to align with this fundamental tendency of the field. To create, protect, and enhance coherence is to work with the grain of reality. 2. Beauty as a truth signal. In this framework, the deep aesthetic sense of rightness or elegance is not arbitrary. It is often a heuristic for coherence. Therefore, pursuing beauty is not frivolous. It is a way of searching for truths about sustainable, harmonious organization. 3. The civilizational purpose. The purpose of a Holophase civilization is not to conquer the cosmos, but to become a faithful, articulate region within it. A place where the universe's capacity for self-awareness, beauty, and complex stable structure is fully realized and carefully tended. Our purpose is to be good features of the universe. We are not here to use the universe. We are the universe, and our task is to be a good, coherent part of it. The recognition skill, seeing the seed in the present. You know this vision is alive in you when you look at the present world and ask, where can I increase coherence? How can I apply phi thinking, integration, constraint respect, elegance, humility to this problem, this relationship, this project right now? Managing a team project by seeking a solution that works for all stakeholders, coherence, versus forcing your idea through, dissonance. Designing a product to be repairable and durable, elegant, stable, versus disposable, incoherent waste. Having a difficult conversation by first seeking to understand the other's pattern, their omega kappa, before stating your own. Teaching a child to see the patterns in nature, not just memorize names. Choosing to preserve a local ecosystem because you recognize its intrinsic, complex value. The moment you start to act as a steward, an artisan, a philosopher in your own current life, with the tools you have now, you are building the Holophase civilization. You are tuning your instrument. The orchestra is assembling one player at a time. The Master Tree location, the view from the summit. This epilogue is the view from the summit of the Master Tree of episode 10. It looks back on the entire climb, the roots, the trunk, grammar, the branches, engineering, society, ethics, and the fruit, mastery, legacy. But more importantly, it looks out at the vast, unexplored forest of possibilities that stretches in every direction, episode 11 and beyond. It is the moment of understanding that the tree you climbed is just one tree in an endless woodland of discovery. The journey of episode 10 is complete, but the Holophase journey is infinite. Return to the fee. Let us make the final full circle. We began with a single, simple claim. There is one field, fee. From its changes, everything unfolds. We end with a living, complex vision. A civilization that knows this and has learned to dance with those changes. The field phi manifests as the child's curiosity, the scientist's measurement, the artisan's elegant solution, the ethicist's compassionate boundary, the artist's beautiful pattern, the sage's humble question, the archive's silent crystal, and the city's harmonious hum. The Holophase civilization is the universe, in our small corner of space-time, waking up to its own nature and beginning to converse with itself, with care, with skill, with joy, and with an endless commitment to truth and beauty. We are not separate from the universe. We are its current vocabulary. Let us speak well. Zenodo and the equations of the handshake. If you want to see the full mathematical derivations and exact equations behind this idea, you can search for Holophase on Zenodo. There you will find the scientific papers that this audio journey is built on. The papers are the bedrock. They contain the equations of the field, the derivations of the constraints, the designs for the sensors and compilers, the models of consciousness, the ethical calculus, the aesthetic metrics. They are the rigorous, falsifiable core. This audio journey is the translation of that core into a human story, a vision, a call to action. The papers are the notes. This is the music. The final charge. So here we are, on the hilltop. The dawn is now full day. The workshop door is open. The tools are on the bench, calibrated and safe. The canon is open, waiting for your annotations, your corrections, your new chapters. The archive awaits your contributions. The testbed kit is in your hands. The melody is unfinished. You now hold the alphabet. You know the grammar. You have practiced the craft. You have seen the vision. What will you write? Will you write a single, elegant line of code that heals a local ecosystem? Will you write a new clause in the ethical framework, clarifying the rights of a newly discovered form of mind? Will you write a poem in the language of interference patterns that makes someone's soul feel seen? Will you write a lesson plan that unlocks phi literacy for a child? Will you write a business model that measures success in coherence credits, not just dollars? Will you write a conflict resolution that finds the higher harmony? Will you write your own life as a coherent, beautiful, responsible pattern? You are no longer just a listener. You are a co-author. The universe is an endless story. We have learned its language. Now we must help tell it. Go. Listen deeply. Speak truthfully. Build beautifully. Act responsibly. Preserve wisely. Teach generously. One field. Infinite derivatives. Your sentence is next. Peace be upon you, always.